Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. This is Courtney, the Marketing Coordinator here at AIM. Today's webinar will be recorded and later posted on our website. This does mean that all attendees will be automatically muted so that we can get a quality recording today. If you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box, and we'll try to answer them throughout the presentation. But if we're unable to get to all of them, we'll have a member of our marketing team reach out to you individually to make sure all your questions get answered. Our newest agent resource, the 2-Minute Minute, is in full swing. The marketing team is bringing you quick hit ways to talk to more prospects, write more business, and grow your agency. We're posting new videos every Monday and Wednesday, so check out our social media pages, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube to see what you might have missed. Some of our episodes even reference an exclusive offer, so you'll want to check that out. With that, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Dawn so that we can get started. Go ahead and take it away, Dawn.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well today. Again, Dawn Erickson here with American Independent Marketing. Join us today, a special guest, Melissa Gwinnett. She is the National Sales District Manager with Wellabe. With that, I want to say good morning, Melissa. How are you doing today?
Good morning. How are you?
Excellent. It's a nice sunny day out already.
Yeah, we had storms roll through this morning, so it's been interesting.
So yeah, we're gonna get right into this thing. I mean, this is something that we want to make sure people are aware of what's going on, and this name Wellabe. So let's kind of let them know what's going on and what we're gonna do.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for having me. Highly appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. My name is Melissa Gwinnett, National Sales Manager here at Wellabe. So you guys have probably seen we did change our brand name as of June 26th. So we are now branded as Wellabe. We're still a Medico company. It's Medico Wellabe Company. Medico's the insurance company, but our complete brand is going to be Wellabe. And actually what Wellabe stands for is will always be. It's our promise to make sure that we are here for you as the agent. We are here for your customers, just to kind of help them get everything done for today so they don't have to worry about tomorrow. We'll always be here even at the time when they need us most for claims. So that's really where Wellabe came from. We have sent out multiple emails. And if you guys are on the webinar and you're not contracted with Wellabe, please get with AIM, Dawn, Courtney, whomever, and get yourself contracted. It's super simple. It takes about 5 days to get contracted. But kind of what we're going to go over today is a little bit about who Wellabe is, what kind of products we have, why you should add us to our portfolio. So let's really talk about why you and your clients benefit from choosing Wellabe. So we've actually been in the insurance industry since 1929, so we are not new to this market. We're a financially strong, stable organization. We maintain an A rating with AM Best. Why do we talk about that? Because at the most important time when your clients are going to need us, we will be here financially for them. One of the coolest things that I get to hear, so I travel the United States, but what I always get to hear is how easy we are to do business with. And to me, that's important. Not only is it important for you as the agent, but it's important for your clients. And here at Wellabe, we really focus on the senior market by helping provide solutions that will help supplement Medicare. So we also have some awesome tools for you as the agent. We've got an electronic quoting system that's an enrollment tool. We have a brand new app that I'll kind of talk a little bit about for the clients. Super simple, but like I said, we primarily focus on the senior market here at Medico. So the Medicare population is rapidly growing. As of August of 2022, there's 56.6 million Medicare beneficiaries. And I know we've all heard that magic number of 10,000 individuals turning 65 every day. What that equates to is over 70 million people that you're going to be able to market to by 2030. So if you ever think, well, maybe I shouldn't be in the Medicare space, I think you're right where you need to be. So how can Medico help you when it comes to Medicare supplement products? One thing I just want to bring up really quick before we talk about Medico's the Medicare supplement product is if you are in the state of Washington, please note Wellabe's Medicare supplement will be coming as of August 1st. So make sure you're watching for the emails. If you're not contracted with us, get contracted. We will be very competitive in the Washington market. So all of the states on this map is where our Medicare supplement products are available. Now, one of the things that I like to talk about and how we differ a little bit different, right, than our competitors is here at Wellabe, we offer a 10% household discount to your client as long as they live in the same household as an individual over the age of 50. So that person does not need to be applying, simply just need to live with another individual, and I say a human, okay? Even though I think those four-legged furry friends should count, they do not. It does have to be a human. But they automatically qualify for a 10% household discount. And why we do that is statistics show that clients are healthier, people are healthier if they live with another adult. Think about yourself. If your spouse is ever sick or your roommate's ever sick, you're kind of like, are you okay? What's going on? So that's just kind of the statistics behind that, just to give you an idea. Also, what we offer here at Medico is all of the Medicare supplements in the market. So we've got your Plan A, your Plan G, Plan F, we have Plan N. We also do high deductible G and high deductible F. So when you offer the stability of a Medicare supplement plan, what happens to your client base? You probably see it grow, right? You create long-term customers. You're just not moving them from one plan to another during AEP. And really, a satisfied client is not one that only stays with you, but the best thing you get out of it is word of mouth referrals. Really, people in the Medicare supplement market, they want guaranteed coverage. They don't want their benefits to change. They want the ability to use any doctor, any hospital. They don't want to be stuck in a certain network. And they also want to make sure that their medical bills are paid, and they don't want to have to understand deductibles, co-payments, and all of that good stuff. And the other thing that they always like about this, as long as they're healthy, they can change their Medicare supplement plan, as you know, anytime throughout the year. So on this Medicare supplement product, we have preferred rates. If your clients are non-tobacco users, their rates are cheaper. We actually have 3 different qualifications. One is if they're open enrollment, guarantee issue, or they are very healthy, they will get the preferred rate. Then we have a standard rate. Maybe they're not so healthy and maybe they don't quite meet that perfect height and weight chart. We've got those rates. And then we also have a standard 1. All of our tobacco users will go there, and people that are even a little bit more or less healthy. So we already talked about that household discount with Wellabe, as long as they have anybody who lives over the age of 50. So one of the things that I always love to talk about, and I don't know, Dawn, if we've got the capability of doing this, but I'm a super interactive presenter. I love being in person because I will make you raise your hands. So one of the things that I always like to talk about is how many times have you been on a turning 65 appointment and your clients are super excited because they're finally going on Medicare and they're going to absolutely be covered for everything? If they have that option to raise hands, I don't know if that's the case, but.
Yeah, not on this one. I know we've looked into it, but yeah, that's definitely a great tool. I mean, people, raising their hand, or you can do it like a percentage thing, and then you can look at it and do it interactively, like you said. It's huge.
Absolutely. So I would assume everybody on this line is probably raising their hand, right? Because we've all been in the field. We all know how that works. So 2 things I always like to talk about is when you signed up to get your insurance license, not only are you now an insurance agent, but you get to be 2 other things in your clients' lives. And the number 1 most important thing is the educator. You are now their teacher. Without you, they have no idea what exists in the market. The second thing you now get to be is that HR director, especially if somebody's retiring, they've worked in corporate America, We all know that, you get handed a folder from HR and say, here's your benefits, pick what you want. Well, that's now what you get to be. So one of the things that Medico Wellabe Company offers is a dental plan. So according to a 2019 study, and I wish this was updated, but we haven't gotten an updated one, but almost 65% of Medicare beneficiaries did not have dental coverage. So really what that equals is there's over 37 million people that are not covered on dental. Now, one of the most important pieces to your overall health is your oral health. So it's important to make sure that we are talking to our customers, to our clients, to our family members about dental products. So at Wellabe, we offer 2 dental plans you can sell in all of the states here in dark green. And there's 2 different plan options we will talk about. There's a gold and a platinum dental plan. Super simple benefits, first day coverage on everything, competitive rates. Who can you target? You can target anyone ages 18 to 89, so it just doesn't have to be your Medicare market. By the way, agents, I always say you are your best customer. I own this policy. If I'm training this policy and I'm selling this policy, I own it, so I know what's going on. Obviously, I can't have a Medicare supplement yet, but I do have the dental plan. So there's a couple different riders we're going to talk about. It is guarantee issue. Everyone qualifies for a plan. Okay, so the 2 riders we'll talk about. The other thing, I don't care if you're 18, you're 45, you're 65, you're 89. I don't care if you live in Iowa, Texas, Oregon, wherever you live, all of the premiums are the exact same. So I always say we kind of did the easy button on the premium. You only have 4 premiums that you have to know what they are, because you don't care where your client lives, how old your client is, or if they're a male or a female, okay? So on the benefits, super simple, 2 plans. One is the gold policy, the other is the platinum policy. The only difference between gold and platinum, besides the premium, is this basic services, okay? This is the only difference between the 2 policies. So on gold, basic is 50, on platinum, basic is 80. So basically your client can decide, do they want a gold policy, do they want a platinum policy, and do they want $1,000 maximum per calendar year or a $1,500 maximum per calendar year. Preventative services, so for what you and I go to the dentist for every 6 months to a year. This is our normal cleaning. So your evaluation, your cleaning, we get x-rays. There is 0 deductible on this. Your client gets 100% of 2 cleanings paid twice per calendar year. So these policies do run on calendar year, so January 1st to December 31st. Now on basic services and major services, there is one $50 deductible. Doesn't matter if they need it through basic or major. But what basic services are, if you've ever woke up with a toothache, right? You call the dentist, you go in, they do an exam, they're probably gonna do a diagnostic x-ray, and they look at me and they say, shame on you, Melissa, you've got a cavity, so guess what? Now you need a filling. So those are basic services. And then also the non-surgical extraction is a basic service. And what a non-surgical extraction is a tooth above the gum. Okay, so if it's ever a tooth under the gum, that's considered surgical. So basically, after a $50 deductible on a gold policy, Medico Wellabe Company will pay 50% of that charge up to either the $1,000 or the $1,500. Now, if they have the platinum policy, we will pay 80% up to either that $1,000 or $1,500. Major services, this is what I always say I never want to go to the dentist for. And for whatever reason, I'm always unlucky and have to go to the dentist for major services. So major services are root canals, bridges, crowns, dentures, surgical extractions. We also cover dental implants on this product. So the dental implants, we will cover one dental implant every 3 years. Now, if your client has this policy and they need a major service done within owning the product within the first 12 months, we will only pay 20% of that charge up to the $1,000 or $1,500 for the first 12 months. Now, I always say 20% is better than 0%, especially on a major service. After they've had the policy for 12 months, we will pay 50% on major services. Now, pricing, because that's always important, right? So the $1,000 gold policy is $36.80 a month. The gold 1,500 is $46 a month. The platinum 1,000 is $39.79 a month. Platinum 1,500 is going to be $49.78 a month. Now, I'm not a math genius, okay? That's why I'm in sales. But the difference between the gold and the platinum is less than $4 a month. Have you guys been through a Starbucks drive-thru lately? Okay, it's less than a black coffee at Starbucks, okay? And they get 80% on basic services versus 50%. Now on here, there's also two different riders. The first rider is what we call a buy-up benefit rider. This rider costs $11.95 a month. And what this rider says is Medico, a Wellabe company, will add $1,000 worth of dental coverage every single January 1st if they have this rider. So if they've purchased $1,000 and they have the buy-up, they're really going to get $2,000. $1,500, they have the buy-up, they're really going to get $2,500. Now, they do have to use that during the year or they lose it, okay? The next rider I own, and it is also sold 70% of the time. And this rider costs $7.97 a month. I call that Walmart pricing. But what this rider does is it allows your client to carry over any unused benefit from calendar year to calendar year. So if they, let's say myself, I only went and had 2 dental cleanings last year and I have a $1,500 policy, I ended up and carried over $1,000 from last year. So starting January 1st of 2023, I had $1,500 plus an additional $1,000 in carryover money. So I started my 2023 year out at $2,500. Thankfully, I had that rider because I've already had to have 1 crown this year. Okay, so that rider, $7.97 a month, and they can keep carrying that over from year to year to year up to a total of $3,000. Okay, so that rider, I always say talk about it because it will save the client. So really quick, Dawn, have there been any questions yet that I can address?
There was a question just about the over 50 age for the Medicare supplement.
Okay.
And is that for all states? Is there some variations per state at all, or pretty much?
There's actually a couple states. Yeah, there's a couple states where it's a little different. Pennsylvania and Ohio both state that both people in the household have to purchase the policy in order to get that 10% discount. But those are the only 2 states that are different.
Okay.
So make
the
sure
only other question.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
No, I was just going to say, so agents, when you're quoting it, just make sure you look at what state you're quoting. It will tell you exactly what that discount is.
Yeah, and on the application, it lets you know if there's a question on there about the household discount. I believe in almost every application.
There is. Absolutely.
Yep. So the other question was about the networking for the dental, and is there not 2 different plans in Washington? Is that what it was? The question, I believe. Is there just one for dental?
Washington, we don't have a product there right now in Washington.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
For the dental. Yeah.
And how about the network for the dental?
So there is no network. They can go wherever they want. We do not care. We're going to pay based on reasonable and customary, but that's the best bonus about our product is they can go anywhere they want. We also do not coordinate benefits. So maybe they have a Medicare Advantage plan that has dental benefits. We do not care. They can send us a bill and we will pay on the original charges. Okay. Great question.
All right. Yep. Very good. Yep. Those are what I had so far.
All right. Perfect. Well, we're going to move on to my favorite product to talk about. Okay. I'm assuming most of us on this line sell Medicare Advantage plans, right? So I always like to ask agents, why do clients come to you and know if they want a Medicare Advantage plan? A couple reasons. The very first one is price, right? Because they always think it's free or it's low cost. The second is some of them like the additional benefits that have been added to a lot of the Medicare Advantage plans. Well, one of the things, remember I told you you were an educator now. So what you need to do is if your client wants a Medicare Advantage plan, you absolutely should always show them a hospital indemnity product to make sure that their out-of-pocket is being filled, right? So a client comes to you, they want a Medicare Advantage plan, hopefully, and you should be talking to them about their out-of-pocket maximums. If they go into the hospital, what they'll have to pay, if they have to go into an ambulance, they have an emergency room charge, they get cancer, okay, they have to have chemotherapy. Make sure you're letting them know what they have to pay, because in the end, it's not about if, it's really when and how many times somebody gets sick, right? When we're dealing with the 65 plus market. That Medicare Advantage plan, that $0 premium, really can turn out to be a very expensive Medicare supplement. If you take their out-of-pocket maximum and you divide that by 12, it can be pretty pricey. So make sure you are always talking to your clients about a hospital indemnity. Who can you target? You can target anyone ages 18 to 85. So it doesn't just have to be your Medicare market. Guys, I also own this product, okay? There's no policy fee. There's also a 7% household discount on this plan. As long as your client lives with another individual over the age of 18, we will give them a 7% discount. Now, one of the things that I really want to talk about is the state availability map, okay? Washington, you're perfect. If you're in that Oregon area, there is a hospital indemnity product, but it's going to be a little bit different than what we talk about today. And then, of course, all of those states in like the darker pink is where it's available. If the state is the light pink, there is no product in the light pink. So as you can see, we're pretty much surrounded by, we pretty much got it covered, okay? So one of the things I want to talk about is the base policy. So when your client wants a Medicare Advantage plan and you are talking to them about what they're going to pay out of pocket, this is Medico, a Wellabe company's base plan. So all of these benefits are included in the base plan. All your client simply has to do is decide on one benefit. And the only benefit that they need to make a decision on is the hospital inpatient confinement benefit. So if they get admitted into the hospital, Medico will always pay day one, okay? But they need to decide how much money do they want us to pay per day and for how many days. So what I say, if you're dealing with a Medicare Advantage client, look at what their out-of-pocket maximum is per day if they go inpatient to the hospital. Either match it or oversell it just a little bit. This is an indemnity policy. All of this money is going to the client tax-free. Now, we can pay the hospital in the event they want us to. They just need to make sure they send in an assignment of benefits. But for the most part, all of this money goes to the clients. Then the client needs to decide, okay, well, if I go into the hospital, how many days do I want to be paid for? So we always pay day one, and then the client can choose. Do they want us to pay for 3 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days? We also have a 21 and a 31-day option. I will tell you the most popular plan is 6 days because that really helps usually with the Medicare Advantage plans. Also, there's a lifetime restoration. So what does that mean? That means your client can use this multiple times through the year. So it's just not one hospitalization and done. As long as your client is out of the hospital for 60 days in a row, we will reset their entire benefit back to them. So in a really bad year, health-wise for your client, they could use this up to 6 times per calendar year, okay? The next benefits, so the next 4 benefits we're going to talk about are automatically added into the coverage. They don't have to purchase this. They automatically get it from us, okay? The first one is observation unit benefit. So this was an issue between the hospitals and Medicare. Sometimes clients would present to the emergency room. Doctors weren't quite sure what was going on. They were running some tests. So they tell the client, hey, we're going to put you in a room and we're going to observe you. Well, what the problem was is some of the plans weren't paying 100% if they were in observation. Now, our plan says if they're in observation, we will still pay 100% of the inpatient benefit up to 6 days per calendar year. Some of our competitors say that they have to be there for a minimum or maximum hours per observation stay. We do not care. We don't have a minimum or a maximum. Emergency room benefit, if they have to go into the emergency room for an injury or an accident, we will pay $150 per emergency room visit, up to 4 emergency room visits per calendar year. Inpatient mental health, we all know that this is on a rise. There's a benefit that says we will pay $175 a day, up to 7 days per calendar year for a covered mental or nervous disorder. The other benefit, the last one in the base plan, is huge. It's called transportation and lodging. And what this says is if your client has to travel more than 50 miles from their residence to receive inpatient treatment, we will pay them an additional $100 per day, up to 10 days per calendar year. What does this help pay for? Maybe it's a loved one's hotel room. Maybe it's gas money, food money, parking garage fees. We do not care as long as they are 50 miles or more from their residence receiving inpatient treatment. Now, this is the base benefit. I want you to kind of remember because we're going to talk about pricing in just a little bit. So obviously, let's take a look because there's optional riders. We have 7 different optional riders. And the first thing that I always tell agents is don't get frustrated if your client doesn't buy every rider. That's absolutely fine. They don't have to buy every rider, but what's not okay is we're not talking about it, okay? I know sometimes we think, well, our client doesn't need this, or, you know, sometimes we like to judge, you know, but we need to just make sure we're talking to the clients about it and let them decide what it is they want. Our number 1 sold rider is our ambulance rider, and what this rider pays for is if they need ground transportation, air transportation, water transportation. We will pay $250 per ride, up to 4 rides per calendar year. Now, if your client has an unfortunate time and we pay up to 10 ambulance rides in the lifetime of their rider, we do only pay up to 10. If that's the case, then we cancel their rider, no longer have to pay premium for their rider, okay? Then we have the outpatient therapy and chiropractic benefit. I like to call this rider the buy one, get one free. So the buy one portion is outpatient therapy, and that outpatient therapy is for speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. Wellabe will pay $50 per day, up to either 15 or 30 outpatient visits. I'm going to fill you in on a secret. Sell 30, it's less than 80 cents a month. Okay, so they get additional 15 days for less than 80 cents a month. Now the get one free portion.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Melissa. I mean, just you saying that, it's just like, I mean, I just like, what 80 cents? I'm like, really? For what you get? I mean, it's like, cups, it's not even a coffee. It's not even adding sugar to your coffee or any of that kind of stuff. You know, you're talking, you know, when you go to Starbucks or something, less than $1 for that. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Why would you not talk? That's why you got to talk about it and talk about the riders and some of the costs. it's huge. What it can do for them.
Absolutely. And just let them know. Be real with them, right? So I always tell agents, I'm super transparent in case you haven't picked up on that. But just be transparent with your clients. That's what's going to make you the best agent, right? You just be transparent with them. Let's be honest. They don't know what exists, right, Don? They really don't. They have no clue. So,
yeah.
So yes, 30 days, guys, for less than 80 cents a month. And then the get one free portion, I love the chiropractor, okay? So if you have a client who uses the chiropractor, they're going to get $50 paid up to 5 chiropractic visits per calendar year. So if they get $50, again, I'm not very good at math, that's why I'm in sales, but $50 up to 5 visits, that's pretty much going to pay for their premium on their hospital indemnity, right?
Exactly.
So yes. And then, of course, outpatient surgery. Not sure if you've known anybody who's had to have surgery lately, but I cannot believe what they do outpatient. Literally, they'll do an outpatient surgery. You're there for a couple hours and they send you home. It's insane. So if your client has this rider, we will pay for 2 outpatient surgeries per calendar year. What we pay is up to your client. Do they want $250, $500, $750, or $1,000 per surgery? Skilled nursing, we all know that this cost just continues to rise, right? So what we do, what this rider says, we will pay days 1 through 50. And I know the first thing you're thinking in your brain is, well, Medicare generally pays days 1 through 20. You're right, they do, but so do we. We do not care, okay? So days 1 through 50, we pay either 100, 150, or 200. If they're in the skilled nursing facility and they're discharged, and they go carefree for 180 days, this rider will pay a second time, okay? I'll try to not get stuck here on this rider, but I hate this cancer word, that C word, don't like it. Nobody wants to talk about it, right? But cancer statistics that are an all-time high.
Yeah, and when you're done with this one, I kind of want to ask one question about the cancer one also. So,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So nobody wants to talk about it. But one of the things that I always talk about, okay, we know statistics are out there. On a Medicare Advantage plan, if your client gets diagnosed with cancer, chances are they're going to have chemotherapy. On a Medicare Advantage plan, they have to pay 20% of chemotherapy until they hit their out-of-pocket maximum, okay? That's an expensive out-of-pocket maximum. And not only will they hit it 1 year, they can possibly hit it for 2 years, depending upon how much chemo they have to have. I actually have a story. It was an agent of mine, and he was diagnosed with cancer in October, okay? They hung up his first bag of chemo. He wasn't Medicare age, but he had a high deductible policy from his employer. They hung up his first bag of chemo and they said, congratulations, you've met your year's worth of deductible. Okay, this was October. He had chemo October and November, December. They did it again in January. First bag in January, they hung up. They said, congratulations, you've now met your second year's deductible. Okay. Why do I talk about that? Because that can happen to your clients, especially on a Medicare Advantage plan. Even if they're not on Medicare, this can happen to them. Think about yourself. What's your deductible on your health coverage if you were to get cancer? The other thing is this is tax-free money sent directly to your client. They choose, do they want us to pay $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, $7,500, or $10,000? Also, guys, maybe it's a bad diagnosis and they don't want to get treatment, but they want to take their family on a trip. Maybe there's somebody like me who travels for a living and they're not going to be able to travel for a little bit. Maybe it's going to help pay their mortgage. Maybe it'll help feed their kids. Cancer does not care what we've got going on in our life. And I'll get off my soapbox. On this rider, you can sell it up to anyone ages 80. So 18 to 80, they can buy this rider. Don, I know you had a question.
There's always questions. It's just with the cancer piece. I know there's other carriers out there that do, they cover some cancer stuff, or they don't. Does Wellabe and this product cover the in situ? I think that's how you say it, in situ
Yeah.
cancer.
So
Is that cover?
great question. And I sadly am going to have to say it does not. Okay.
Okay.
So what
Okay.
Dawn's talking about is cancer in situ. And basically what it is it's stage 0 cancer. Basically, it's not broke outside of the cell. And why it's coming up more and more is a fantastic reason, okay? And that reason is because we're catching cancer sooner, which is good for us, right? But unfortunately, when this rider was written, and the next policy I'm going to talk about is our standalone cancer policy. When it was written, cancer in situ was not included. So currently, cancer in situ would not be payable for the lump sum rider. However, that doesn't mean we won't change it someday. Just know I'm a huge cancer advocate, and I'm always advocating to our home office. But as of right now, it is not covered. Great question.
Yeah, it's one of those that I've heard it so many times, and cancer. I don't like the word. I don't like anything about it. It doesn't discriminate on anybody. It just doesn't. I mean, I can personally tell you from personal experience. One of my best friends from here at AIM. I talk about it all the time. It's very personal, and he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he didn't survive it. You know, he actually did a good drug trial period. But I tell you, if you it's not who has cancer, it's what kind of cancer you have. It's going to be that way someday, and that's terrible to say. I would hope that someday they'll figure something out, but it's not a subject that anybody wants to talk about, but it's out there, and people need to make sure they have coverage.
Absolutely. And Dawn, one of the things you can probably attest to as well, not only is it emotionally wrecking, it's financially wrecking, right? It can be a financial wrecker. So yeah, just make sure you're talking about it, guys. I know nobody wants to talk about it, but at least let your clients know it's out there. And one of the other things I say, if you have a story, just like Dawn just said, if you have a story, tell your story, because everybody knows somebody who's had cancer or has cancer, okay? So we'll get off my soapbox. I can stay there for days. So urgent care rider. There's urgent cares everywhere, right? They're even in our supermarkets now. So if your client has this rider, they need to go to urgent care for whatever reason, we will pay them $50 per urgent care visit, up to 4 visits per calendar year. The last rider is our lump sum hospital confinement benefit rider. Basically what this rider says is if your client is admitted to the hospital, we will pay them an additional $250, $500, or $750, depending upon what they chose. And this is just cash that goes into their pocket. What I like to call this is kind of like a pet rider, if you will. So Dawn and I have labs, and I know that because we've shared stories about our labs. But if we were to go into the hospital, we're going to have somebody take care of those besties, right? Someone's going to have to come in and take care of them. And I just don't trust anybody with my dogs. So I'm either going to have to put them in a kennel, or I'm going to have to pay somebody to come here and let them out. This is maybe what I use this rider for, okay? Regardless, it's tax-free money sent directly to your client. They can use it for whatever they want. In my case, mine's for my dogs. So now, what we used to hear, yeah, go ahead, Dawn.
No, I like it. I mean, that's you to a T. Jack needs to go to a good place that I know he'll be taken care of. So that would be a great way to use it, that money. So, and everybody has a different way to use it, and that's just the way it is. So we want to make sure that you know that.
For our dogs, right?
Yeah.
So we used to get from agents is 2 things, but the first thing usually was, well, my client's not healthy enough. Well, guess what? Wellabe took care of that for you. The second was, Well, my client really can't afford a hospital indemnity. On the next screen, I'm going to show you what this costs. And if you're ever in person with me, I have personality for days, as you can probably tell. But if you tell me in person your client can't afford a hospital indemnity, I'm going to look at you and say, then you have them in the wrong plan. Because if they can't afford a hospital indemnity, they can't afford to have a Medicare Advantage plan. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So I've already taken care of your underwritten part, because if your clients are anywhere between the ages of 64 and 67, there are 0 health questions. Everybody qualifies, okay? 64 to 67, everybody qualifies. Now, with that being said, there is a 6-month pre-existing condition limitation. What's that mean? So for the first 6 months of owning this policy, Wellabe will not pay them for something that's pre-existing. Now, I use myself as an example. I have asthma. I've had it since I was a child. I told you I own this policy. So for the first 6 months of having this policy, if I would have had an asthma attack and had to go into the hospital, Wellabe wouldn't have paid me. But I've now passed that 6 months. They will pay me as many times as I need to. Now, in that time frame, in that 6-month time frame, your client's shopping at Walmart, they fall off the curb, they break a hip, they break an ankle, they break an elbow. That is not considered pre-existing, okay? Clear as mud, hopefully. Now, for anyone outside of 64 to 67, so 18 to 63 and 68 to 85, there's only 9 knockout health questions, okay? There's no telephone interview, no medical exam, no prescription drug screen. They are simple yes and no health questions. So the very first question that they have to answer, and I always get a kick out of it, especially if I'm dealing with a male or we're dealing with the senior market, because that very first question is, are you pregnant or undergoing infertility treatment? When I'm in person, everybody laughs, and I'm like, yes, sales, somebody in sales created that because it's an icebreaker, okay? So that's the number one question. And then in the last 12 months, we want to know, have they used oxygen? Have they been treated for COPD, MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's? Are they somebody who's insulin dependent diabetic? As long as they don't take more than 50 units of insulin a day, they qualify. They also cannot take 3 or more oral diabetic medications, okay? See this C word again, this cancer word down here? We only ask if your client has been diagnosed or treated for cancer, stroke, or heart attack in the last 12 months. If you have a client who had a previous cancer diagnosis and they have been treatment-free for 12 months, they can buy the rider. Okay, that's massive. Most policies are 5 to 10 year look back. And then of course, we need to know if they're on dialysis treatment. I'm transparent. I told you I'm transparent. On this policy, there is something called a 2-year contestability period. Agents, our clients always tell us the truth about their health, right, Don? Yeah. They always tell us. Yeah, right. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. So this question comes up and you're asking your client, hey, Mr. Smith, have you been diagnosed with COPD in the last 12 months? No, I haven't. They gave me an inhaler, but it's for asthma. Okay, so we're going to mark no on the application. But Mr. Smith files a claim within the first 2 years of owning this policy. Wellabe finds out that there's a pre-existing condition limitation of pre-existing COPD, okay? What we're going to do is we are going to order health records. We are going to make sure that they answered that question number 3 correctly. And if we find out in Mr. Smith's health records that he did not quite tell us the truth, we will resend his policy. However, guys, we do refund 100% of that premium if that happens. I will tell you it doesn't happen a lot, maybe 1% of the time. Okay, but I always want to be transparent that that's in there and that's what it means. Okay, so this value chart. Have any of you been through fast food drive-through lately, especially Jimmy John's? I don't know what it is about Jimmy John's, but it is ridiculous expensive. So on this chart, this premium is for a 70-year-old female with a household discount in the Des Moines, Iowa area, okay? So remember the base plan, we're gonna pay $350 a day if she goes inpatient into the hospital for 6 days. Plus, if there's observation, we're gonna pay 100% of that. She goes to the emergency room, we're gonna pay $150 up to 4 emergency room visits. We're gonna pay for inpatient mental health. We're gonna pay for transportation and lodging. So all 5 of those benefits are going to cost her less than 2 combos at Jimmy John's. $21.63 a month. Wow, think about it. So do you see why I said, if I'm ever training you in person or you ever call me on the phone and you say my client can't afford it, do you see why I'm saying then your client can't afford a Medicare Advantage plan? Now this is for $350 for 6 days. Don't forget, we go all the way down to $100 a day for 3 days. Our average total premium here at Wellabe is about $25 to $30 a month total, okay? So then we've got the riders. It's okay if they don't buy every single rider, but the ambulance rider is less than my favorite coffee at Starbucks, okay? $3.41. Then you've got skilled nursing. I'm just gonna take our eyes right to that cancer rider because this should be our #1 sold rider. For $5,000 for a 70-year-old female, it is less than a current value meal at McDonald's, okay? They could get that out-of-pocket maximum paid for or take their family on a trip. So
yeah, that sesame seed bun is like $12 or $13 for that one. Come on.
Exactly.
You're
and do you want fries
getting a
with that?
discount here for that whole. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, your client can have base policy, every single rider for $60 a month. That's a pretty inexpensive Medicare supplement plan. Would you say, Don?
Yeah. You're talking hospital indemnity?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's
so if they have Medicare
this
Advantage,
could cover so
they
much.
have this supplement.
Yeah, it could cover so much for you.
Yep. Absolutely. Are there any questions on that before we get rolling? I know I'm taking quite a bit of time, so.
No, it looks like everybody's kind of in awe of what's going on. I mean, just showing them what we have available with you guys. So,
right.
No, we're good to move on.
Which is important. So the next product I'm going to talk about is a little bit like the rider, but really not. So this is just a standalone cancer plan. We already talked about how important it is to have cancer coverage. All of the states in blue here is where this product is offered. It is in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, which is good because sometimes those states are not there. But again, this policy is a lump sum benefit. So it's going to pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, or $25,000 if your client is ever diagnosed with internal cancer or malignant melanoma. This policy also does not cover cancer in situ, okay? But again, who can you target? Ages 18 to 79. Cancer doesn't care how old we are, right? It's guaranteed renewable. There's also a household discount on this. If 2 people in the same house apply, they will get a 10% household discount. But this is very simple, okay? There's 3 easy health questions. It's unisex rates. We don't ask about family history. We don't ask about genetic testing. However, on the 3 health questions, we do ask about cancer diagnosis or cancer treatment within the last 10 years. Now remember, the rider was just 12 months. This is 10 years back, okay? That's how simple that policy is. But really, we know there's a lot of carriers in the market, but we are super easy to do business with. We've got an awesome website. Again, if you are not contracted, get with AIM, get contracted. You have access to our agent website. It's wellabe.com wellabee.com/sign in. If you had it bookmarked before for the mic.gomedico.com, it's seamless for you. It'll automatically transfer you to the new website, okay? It's not a whole lot different. It's just got a different look because we rebranded, as you know. My enroller, super simple, all web-based. You can do a quote within seconds. You can do an application within less than 5 minutes, okay? There's different ways you can do a signature. If you're present with your client, perfect. If you're doing it over the phone, you can do a email signature. You can do a voice authorization. Literally, this application comes to us within less than 5 minutes. I've already said, if you're not contracted, get contracted. Super simple. Your customers with Wellabe have wealth of information at their fingertips. We have an app that's amazing, and I know it's amazing because I'm a policyholder, okay? You can access your ID cards immediately. They can find your information as their agent. They can talk to customer service. They can look at their maximums. Literally anything they need to know about their policy is out there. Agents, you have an awesome agent support team. They are your go-to for everything and anything Wellabe. They can help you with underwriting, help you with the website, literally anything you need, they can help you. Write this phone number down. It's 1-800-547-2401, option 3. And then one last thing I want to talk about is older adults tend to need more routine care for their eyes and ears, right? My husband, his birthday is today and he's 44, but I tell him he needs a hearing aid all the time because he has selective hearing and he doesn't listen to me. But all jokes aside, we know that, you know, eyes and ears tend to go as we get older. So what we did is we partnered with VSP, and we also partnered with Start Hearing just to provide this to our policyholders in the event they want to go on and get a plan through VSP. They can do that. They just go directly to the VSP website and enroll with what they want. Same with Start Hearing. It's just an additional option. Again, Wellabe does not do anything with this. They go directly to these websites and sign up that way. Last but not least, I know sometimes we feel like we do this job for free. Okay, I know we do. But Wellabe always has awesome agent incentives. So if you are selling our Medicare supplement products, all you have to do is sell between July 1st and September 30th is a minimum of 5 Medicare supplement applications. Once you get there, we will start paying you. We will pay you $125 for each underwritten application. We will also pay you $25 for open enrollment and even guarantee issue, okay? Any of the ancillary products we talked about, hospital indemnity, cancer, dental, all you have to do through the end of September is write 5. We don't care what combination it is. We will start paying you $50 per application, 1 through 14, okay? But if you hit 15, you get really ambitious, we will start paying you $125 per application. $125 bonus on a $25 a month premium, okay? So, and there's no limit. The sky is the limit. You can sell as many as you want to through the end of September. Also, we have a trip and invitational experience that you can work yourself to. It's all collected on points. And right now, all of the ancillary, the cross-selling products are 4 times the normal credit. So I can always send these, Don. You guys probably have them posted on your website. But anyway, go check it out. I'm done talking. This is my contact information. This is my cell phone. This is my email. If you guys need anything, please contact me or contact our agent support. If you're not successful, I'm not successful, and we're all in trouble, okay?
Yep, very nice. Very well put, Melissa. Appreciate the time today. There was no other questions. We're going to wrap it up, but thank you. The biggest thing is being in compliance with your contract and make sure you have it in good order if you need it. We're actually going to reach out later today and tomorrow. The marketers here will with any more answers you may need. So with that, Melissa, have a great day. Thank you again for helping us with this, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you, guys.